All right, so if you're interested in actual real data, okay, real data, this is a chart. This is the 7-day rolling average of new cases per 100,000. I'm going to try to keep the language sanitary. You know what kind of cases these are. They're not cases of frozen fish, okay? They're not cases of cigars. No, they're cases that we've been talking about. Cases here, cases there, cases everywhere. The sky is falling. The case-demic continues. So many thousands of cases. All right, so there are 2 states that are apparently going down here pretty significantly, right? Those 2 states are Texas and Mississippi. Yesterday, I believe in Arlington, Texas, they had a baseball game. They had 40,000 people in the stadium. The stadium was packed to the gills. Are we going to hear about the super spreader event? We will. I'm sure we will hear about what a super spreader event that is and how it's going to put the world in jeopardy. These 3 states here are all still pretty well locked down with lots of restrictions. These 2 states are not. So, what do you make of this? Is there anyone with any intellectual curiosity who would want to know, that's interesting, because these guys, they did away with their restrictions. Yeah, and, they had a little spike here, a little spike there, but the trend is downward. It's way down. Not to mention the number of fatalities nationwide, even with the spike in cases. Fatalities are also down to their lowest point since last year at this time when everything was ramping up. I mean, this was supposedly the worst month last year. And things are starting to settle down. What's interesting is there are 2 Americas at this point. There's lockdown America, there's hysteria America, there's vaccination America, there's get your shot before it's too late America, and then there's the other America that wants to get back to being normal. And I'm sorry, I don't understand why there are so few people that are interested in getting back to normal. Even if you believe in all of the mitigation efforts, trying to use words that won't get me in trouble. Even if you believe in all that stuff and you think you got to do this, you got to do that, and you're following the doctor that there's only one doctor you can listen to here in the United States, which is really pathetic. You would think you'd want a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 100th opinion about this particular matter since it affects millions of people, but I guess we don't want too many opinions, right? So again, just take a look at the chart. Here's Michigan, here's New Jersey, here's New York, here's Texas, here's Mississippi. These 2 states, about a month ago, said, we're done. We're done. Now, again, there are public places, there are businesses, there are, we'll call them blue areas within these states that I am almost certain are still following the edicts or making their own. And the rest of the population is like, I'm done. I'm done. And you would think after a year, this is the most mind-boggling part of this, is that you would think after a year, you would want to stop doing this, that you wouldn't like it. But my last video, if you watched it, I make the case that people like it, that people are enjoying this, because there's no other explanation. If you think that is hyperbole, or I'm trying to make a point that goes too far just to get attention, well, what else is it? If people don't like it, what is it? Tell me. They have to like it, because this is something that most human beings shouldn't like, okay? They shouldn't like being locked down. They shouldn't like all of these different mandates. They shouldn't like losing their businesses. All right? They shouldn't like not having an income. But to me, all I can think about here is the results of this particular chart. That's all I can think about. You look at the chart, and then you walk away. I mean, I could have just posted the chart and told you what states were what and just sat here for a minute and had everybody just look at it, but you've been looking at it. And it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. And will it be on your local newscast tonight? Nope. I'm sure you'll hear about the ginormous super spreader baseball game, though. Because in other cities, what they're doing is, you know, they're spacing out and you can only buy so many tickets and you have to wear, you know, a bubble on your head if you go inside. And so, yeah, it's a little bit of a different experience. You know, if you want a beer and a hot dog, it's going to be a struggle, right? But the people in Texas apparently wanted to actually view the game and enjoy themselves, all right? And by the way, a lot of people aren't going to go out to do these things if there are so many restrictions that it makes these things completely unenjoyable. Just you sit there and go, I don't want to be here. I want to breathe fresh air. I want to eat and drink and be merry and have a good time. It's almost as if they're creating this demand for normalcy, and there's a little sliver of it, and people just rush to it. And then a few weeks later, they'll say, okay, you had your little taste of that, but now we're going to take it away again. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. And the psychological carnage that is, you know, probably already irreparable that has happened here. It's going to be mind-boggling in the years to come when they actually do real studies on this stuff, and they don't ban information and they don't keep you from actually finding out what the collateral damage was for all of this. I mean, anyway, I just wanted to get this out there. We'll see if it stays up here. It'll be interesting. If it doesn't stay up here, it'll be over on Rockfin, because I will back it up over there. And you can go to my channel over at Rockfin. It's called Live Free or Die. You can subscribe. This particular graph will be up there free of charge, so you can share this with everybody who is a skeptic, who thinks the earth is, you know, falling apart or the sky is falling. This would be a good indicator that it might not be, except if you live in these states, right? But keep in mind, these are cases. These are cases. So even with these states, and the alarm bells that are going off, especially in Michigan, right? Those alarm bells going off crazy, and that state has one of the worst governors in the history of governing. Just an abomination, and should be recalled for sure. We'll see if that happens. All right, I'm done. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.